Okay. Leisure Suit Larry. A little bit of a tongue twister because some people say leisure, but Leisure Suit Larry. Wet Dreams Don't Die. Happy Ending Edition on the Xbox One X. This is a review. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy it. I've got the review template open so we can break this game down exactly the same as we break all the other reviews down. Now, this game was gifted to me by the developers. I actually reached to them and I said, listen, I think me and my community would love to review this game because I think it'll be a laugh and it'll definitely help get the name out there to anyone that might be interested in playing the game in my community. So thank you very much for gifting the game to us, guys. I really do appreciate it because it does help, and I hope this review does showcase the game in the best possible light. So the game is only a 4.5 gig file. It's not massive on the hard drive, which is great, which means anyone that, you know, has a low amount of space left on their hard drive, they can download it and enjoy it. So 4.5 gig. Peggy 16 is, you know, they didn't poke their way into the 18 rated, which probably would have allowed them to go even more adult. But it's a Peggy 16 for anyone that wants to know, just in case they buy it for a gift or something like that. It's available on the Switch, the Xbox, the PlayStation, the PC. £34 digital wise, but the physical you can get for around £30. So there's already, you know, a couple of quid saver there by going physical over digital. But I guess it all depends on what you prefer, whether you want to go out and grab it or you just want to stay indoors and just download the game and buy it offline. It's completely up to you. So with the template open, let's break the game down. The very first thing that I like to look into, just like I do with every other game that we review, is the soundtrack. And the soundtrack to this game is fantastic. The credit soundtrack is fantastic. I can't fault the game in any way, shape, or form. The music fits the game. It fits the atmosphere of the game. It works extremely well, and I can't say any negative thing about it whatsoever. But I really did like the choice of soundtrack used for the ending credits. It fit, it worked, and I enjoyed it. So, choice of music used, can't fault it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Good job. Audio effects, something that's very important within the game itself. And as you would expect with a comedy adult game like this, the sound effects, the noises, the squidgy noise, the wetness, all of it worked. You could definitely get a feel of some of the items within the game with the sound effects that they use. Very comedy, very comedy like as well, and that's something that made me laugh, made my community laugh, including some of the cut scenes or the snapshot scenes that you go through with the animations. It worked really well, and again, I can't fault it. Can't fault it at all. So voice acting is the next thing that we look into, because all of this is the audio side of the game. I'll be honest, when I first heard Larry speak, the voice actor for me, it didn't work for me. It didn't at the beginning. As the game went on, it worked better, and it got better and better, and I was fine with it at the end of it. I really was. His voice was hella annoying at the beginning, but I definitely grew to enjoy it. If that makes sense. I grew to enjoy the voice acting. For him specifically, it was just a downhill then an uphill ride. With all the other characters, though, I'm talking all the dates that he goes on, Faith. I won't spoil the story because I don't spoil during my reviews itself. But the voice acting for the other characters, it works for the rest of them. It really does, and it does add a little bit more comedy to it as well. It really does. So, in terms of audio, I can't fault this game. So that's music, sound effects, and voice acting. I can't fault the game. It all worked. The voice acting was very clear. You could hear it really well. I did turn on subtitles just in case I had people watching my stream on Twitch that muted the channel, but they were able to read the subtitles that popped up, which was, thank God I could have that option on itself. In terms of graphics, I loved the art style in this game. I really, 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 really did. I thought it looked great, and it was definitely a vast improvement from the retro editions of the Larry games, because the very first Larry game that I played was the one that was on classic Xbox, and I loved the art style to this game. The coloring was all vibrant. It was beautifully well designed. So I can't fault the graphics. It worked for the game. It definitely did work for the click and play style of the game, or point and click adventure type style of the game. And I did play a lot of point and clicks on PC, like when I was a lot younger. Broken Sword being one of them. So I definitely loved the artwork style in this game. I feel it worked. It looked beautiful. The shadowing was all great, and the locations that you visit, especially the buildings that you go into as well, it just worked. And I can't fault it. At the moment, I have something to say further down the line, but that's more down to, I would probably say, the glitches and the bugs era. Character model design. Now, that had to be important, because the character models are pretty much who you end up with, who you find attractive. But I have to say that I was hoping that more of the female models that you engage with, some of them I was hoping they could be dateable, but they're not. But it's really hard for me to word this without being like a little bit creepy. But I'm trying to load up one of my save files because I need to remember some of the names so I don't make an error. But a lot of the female models, they looked very attractive. I'm not gonna knock it. I did have a favorite. I don't know if that's for everyone, if they didn't care who they ended up with. But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 females in total that you tried to get with. Lemma, Erin, Mi Yong Dong, who's Nari, Anu, Diana. Nari by far is my favorite in it, because she was the nerdy anime weeboo type chick. But the model design on all of the females I thought was absolutely fantastic. They all had their own personality look wise. I can't fault the model design. I can't. I really can't. So there's not that much more I can say about it. Glitches and bugs. Now, we did encounter a few glitches. They weren't major glitches. They were, I don't know what to blame. But Larry would say things and it didn't match the dialogue in the subtitles. So the audio dialogue didn't match the subtitle dialogue. In the very first area, once you leave the bar, when you inspect the manhole cover, he says something and the dialogue doesn't match the subtitles. Not only that, we found another bug where he talked about an item that wasn't actually there, but later on was there. And so I don't know what to put that. Either way, it was a bug. Something that I'm guessing that they can comb over. But it was definitely a bug. We noticed it. Even my community noticed it as well. So I'm guessing just a patch will comb that over and fix that issue so that never happens again. Problem solved. But those were the 2 bugs that we had. But we did crash the game 3 times. And on all 3 occasions of the crash, it happened after about the 2-hour mark. I couldn't move Larry at all. He was frozen in place. but everything in the scenery was still moving. So at one time I tried to walk out a door, the door would open, and Larry would stand still, the music would continue, everything in the animation-wise in the scene would keep on moving, but I couldn't do anything. And I had to basically shut the game down. Thank God the game has an auto save function. You can manually save it if you want to as well, but thank God that they do have a auto save function, or I might have been screwed over a couple of hours. Because at one point I saved it, then played for about an hour and a half, and then it crashed, and I was like, oh no, I've just lost all that. And then when I closed the game down and continued, it left off right where the crash was, which was, that was a game saver. So thank you very much. So 2 bugs and 3 game crashes. Something that I know that they can just roll down some updates, get those fixed, get those patched out to prevent that from happening again. That would be absolutely fantastic, and it's needed because the game is broken in a way. Hey doing, Dolphin fan. Gameplay and mechanics. The gameplay was so funny. It was so fun. It was so enjoyable. It was so funny. It worked 100% for me, for sure. Especially the item combinations, the variety that you could do. The gameplay was just very enjoyable and very fun, and definitely something that you would expect out of a Leisure Suit Larry game. It definitely is. I do feel this was something that I spoke to my community about during the review. There was one particular thing that we had to do that I would have never been able to figure out at all. We got to a point where we were completely stumped. I didn't know what to do. We sat there for about half an hour to about 45 minutes trying item combinations that weren't working, and I just didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. So I had to open up a walkthrough just to scroll through, just to see exactly. Now, I didn't skip through it and go past where I was, because I didn't want to ruin the experience for me, and I didn't want to ruin the experience for my Twitch community who were watching this. But overall, what the game wanted me to do, I would have never figured out without reading that guide. So, did they make it too difficult at that point, or did they throw a combination that you had to work out without giving too many hints or too many? Because with a point-and-click adventure game, you would hopefully get some hints about what to do. Because if not, you're just going to be sit there, with your thumb up your backside, not knowing what to do in the game. And with point-and-click adventures, it's nice. It's nice to have the puzzles. It really is. But if the player gets so stumped that they're not able to figure it out, that they have to turn to a walkthrough to figure it out, I think that's when you've crossed the line to where it's too difficult for them. And I mean, I've been gaming my whole life, and I've been doing point and click adventures too. But even my viewers in chat were like, "Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. How does that? That doesn't. No one understood it." So I think at that point, they could have done it differently to either aid the player to figure it out. I don't know if I should say it. I mean, does it ruin the review? I don't know. I don't know if other people will get confused. I'm not going to say it. It involves... Should I say it? It involves the darts and an item. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. It involves darts and an item. And I'll leave it at that. I really don't want to ruin the review for you guys, but some people might also get stuck at that point and then be like, and then might stop playing the game. And that's not what we want. We don't want people to stop playing the game because they can't figure it out. Mechanics, point and click adventure, combining of items, puzzles, everything that I would expect out of a Leisure Suit Larry game, and everything that I would expect out of a point and click game. I can't really say anything more on that. The mechanics, it works. Except for the bugs that we had, the game crashes and the bugs, the mechanics still worked fine. Replayability and game difficulty. I would say that this game would have small replayability, because you might want to do certain things. There are certain things that you can do with deaths within the game, because Larry can die in funny, very funny ways. But does the game have vast replayability? No. It would have that tiny bit of extra, because I missed 2 cutscenes. So you might want to replay it to see if you could get those cutscenes. Plus, when you look at the achievements, there are achievements for doing different decisions. So yes, the game would have replayability, but maybe just only one more. After that, you're pretty much done with the game, and you might end up having 100% of the achievements. Luckily enough, we got around about 70 to 80% of all the achievements within the game on our first playthrough. So the replayability is there, but it's not a vast amount of replayability. Game difficulty, other than that one bit that we got stuck on, the rest of the game was pretty simple and we figured out. Yes, we had to do some random combinations with items and we were like, no way, that actually works. The game isn't super easy and super obvious. You have to think about a few things while you're doing it. And that's what I really enjoy in a point-and-click adventure game. That the game definitely does get you thinking. But like I said before, not to the point where you know the player's sitting there going, I don't have a clue. When I guess when you reach that spot right there, that's where it might need rewriting or just aiding slightly. But that's all I can really say about it. Story, if applicable, I loved every second of it. I'm not gonna lie, I loved every second of it. The humor kept me going, and I mean, the very first stream that I did on this, guys, was 10 plus hours in one sitting. So I was having a laugh with it, and I was really trying hard to get Larry laid. I really was. And the luck is, that's all I'm going to say, is just the luck was just not with him, I guess. But it was a very, very enjoyable story all the way through. I gotta say though, I myself and some of my community members, the ending was just not what we wanted. It wasn't what we wanted. I was not a fan of the ending at all. That at that point, it did kill it for me quite a bit. I do think they could have gone with a different option, a different ending, maybe something more positive for Larry itself. But yeah, the ending, all the way up, perfect ending. Nah. And that's all I'm going to really say, because again, I don't want to tell you what happens at the end, because it's something that I want you guys to experience yourself. Online co-op modes, features and stability. We can't talk about anything about that because there was no online feature. It would have been great to have an online feature that showed me what my friends chose to do, and maybe give me like a percentage of how many friends went for this option, how many friends with that option. Maybe have a lot more of those sort of features injected into the game where you can decide, you know, the fate of certain things and all that lot. And the game's like, well, 50% of your friends went with this option, or 30% of your friends went with that option, and vice versa. You know, that would have been really, really cool, and it would have added to the humor in the game as well, especially when they would have been funny consequences at the end, and you're like, well, your friend chose to do that one, and you're like, well, really? I need to go tell my friend. I think that would have been a really cool addition to the game. Maybe something that they might want to put in the sequel. By having that online feature where it records your decisions and then it tells you who of your friends also chose those decisions as well. I think that would be really, 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 really cool. But I can't talk about online features and stability because it didn't have anything online. Purchase price, digital price, and value of content. The digital price is £34. Would I be happy paying £34 for this game? Yeah. Just yeah. Not 100%. If I was to say what would be a perfect price for this game, I would say $24.99. Hands down, $24.99 would be a perfect price for this game. That's me. So do I feel value of content is there on the £34? Slightly. If it was $29.99, I'd be a little bit more happier. But $24.99 I feel is a perfect price for this game. I really do, hands down. So value of content, just barely. If it was a lower price, I would have said yes, 100%. I really would have. Microtransactions in any DLC. Let me just quickly check, but I'm pretty sure I didn't see anything along that lines. Manage game and add-ons. See in store. I'm pretty sure there is nothing. There's no microtransactions at all in this game. Thank you for that, because, you know, no one likes microtransactions at all. Could they have done microtransactions? Maybe. Different suits for Larry. Different dresses for the females that you go on dates with. That could have been a thing. But maybe you could have done a unlockable thing in the game where if the player achieves the best thing for the date, they get the best dress. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas now. Just throwing out ideas. But no, there. From what I'm seeing, there are no microtransactions in the store itself. So fantastic. Any additional notes taken, and then the scoring. So we did get notes. We definitely did. Let me close down my review template because I don't need that anymore. I love the mocking jokes. I found all the jokes in the game. It was brilliant. Voice dialogue didn't match the subtitles. We've already spoken about that. There was a sentence error at 1 hour 52 minutes in, and you'll see that on my very first Twitch video. Game crashes, we've already done that. During a conversation with Erin in her apartment, her ending dialogue gets cut off every time by the game. She says one or two words of the sentence, but then she doesn't finish reading the rest of her. She doesn't finish talking the rest of her sentence. Again, that's another bug that they're just going to have to patch out. I loved the old school retro flashbacks to the older game. I loved that a lot. And I thought that was a very nice touch, especially when the music went from a current update music to an old school retro music. Well played on that. I freaking loved every second of that. How can I say this without spoiling it? Crap. During the retro part of the game, there is a section that you play where you have options to choose that takes place in... Oh God, I don't know if I can say this without spoiling it. I don't know. All I'm going to say is there is a massive scene that's done once you leave the retro toilet. And I just didn't like it. And I just don't think, it fit the game. I think it was a bit of a dig to really do. And I think some people would just look at it and think that was just a very poor taste of humor. And I can't really say much because it will be a spoiler. So I'm going to leave it at that. I know it probably sucks because a lot of you guys are probably like, no, you got to tell us. And I can't really tell you because it will put a spoiler in this review, and I don't do spoilers. But all I'm going to say is I felt it was a bad touch to put it in the game. And that's all I'm going to say. The ending was meh. I actually wrote that down. The ending was meh. Like I said, I thought they could have done a better job. But that's me personally. I did like the epilogue playthrough though. I thought that was a really cool touch. But don't do the epilogue until you play the game because it will leave you with massive spoilers. Please don't. Other than that, it just leaves me to, would I recommend this and my scoring? So, would I recommend this game to people? Hell yes. Yes, this game was so much fun to play. If, you know, we're all adults here. We're all adults here. You know, we can talk about things that adults do, and we can be, you know, we could be a bit adult-like. It's, you know, it's healthy, but as long as you don't, you know, insult people or hurt anyone. It's like I said, it's really hard for me to talk about it. Because I don't want to spoil it and I don't want to come across as a bit of a perv. But the game, you know, the game is enjoyable to play. If you're into dirty humor, if you're into adult humor, you're going to love it. If you've played the other Leisure Shoot Larry games, then you're probably going to really enjoy playing this. That's all I'm going to say. So would I recommend people playing this? Yes, I would recommend this to my friends, especially if my friends are dirty humor minded and they love this stuff. I would definitely say yes. If it's discounted just a little bit more though, maybe $24.99, I would say go grab it right now. 100%. But at the 34 price point, I would probably say just wait until it gets discounted just a little bit more, then I would definitely go for it. In terms of scoring, though, I do have to take the bugs into consideration. I do have to take the 3 game crashes that we had into consideration too. The ending as well into consideration, and also the scene after the retro toilet. I do have to put all that into consideration. I know it's my opinion at the end of the day, but that is my review as well. My review is also my opinion at the end of the day. So with all that in mind, I'm happy scoring Leisure Suit Larry, or Leisure Suit Larry, depending on where you are around the world, Wet Dreams Don't Dry at a positive 7 out of 10. That's just my opinion and my scoring. 7 out of 10. I felt this game could have reached an epic 9 out of 10 if a few things were changed and if it was polished up a bit more. But yeah, 7 out of 10. That's my review. Thank you very much for the opportunity again, and I hope you enjoyed the YouTube video that we this video that we upload to YouTube. If you do, like, comment, share. You know, you guys get it. But leave your thoughts in the comment section as well, because I always respond back and I always read them. But other than that, thank you for watching. And that's my review done.